Mm-mm-mm. Hello and welcome to Grid Vision. We definitely appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. We begin a new season here, a new day here in the series, and we definitely are so excited, of course, at Michigan International Speedway. This is going to be a good one, just considering this is actually the debut of the new truck damage model here on iRacing, as well as the debut for a new season. So really a lot of new things going on here tonight for sure. My name is Brian Britt. Of course, I'm joined in the booth by Taylor Burris, Austin Derbyshire, down behind the cameras as our producer, going to be bringing you all the action with all the awesome camera angles that he brings. How you doing tonight, Taylor?
I'm doing well, Brian, and it's going to be an exciting race here tonight at Michigan with the new trucks as we see how this will play out for all the drivers. But as we get ready, take a quick look at this 2-mile circuit just located up here in Brooklyn, Michigan. It's going to be high speeds, high stakes, a lot of drafting, and it's going to be exciting to see from start to finish for tonight's action.
It really will. I was just kind of looking at the temperature there, 82 degrees on the track. That's quite cool. So I expect that's going to provide a lot of grip at this racetrack. And, you know, grip is very important at a track like this, just considering it's kind of somewhere in between a super speedway and, of course, a mile and a half. And so tire savings is going to be important. And so that little bit of a lower temperature could allow these guys to save just a little bit easier. But there's going to be some high-speed action. It's going to be very difficult, would you say, to break away from the pack.
It really is. Drivers are going to have a tough time. We're going to see a lot of pack racing here at Michigan with these drivers getting ready to do battle here for 70 laps. And it's going to be interesting to see how strategy will come to play here as we kick off the new season of the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series.
Yeah, and one thing I was talking to James Harris a little bit before the race, and he kind of was telling me some of the information about the race. Of course, there's 3 sets of tires going to be down in the pits. Usually they'd only have like 2. But he even said that we're extending the races a little bit, making them just a hair longer, and that can kind of be represented here. Usually a race at Michigan in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series would only be about 60 laps. Tonight it is 75, so a little bit longer. That is going to also change a little bit of the strategy for some of these guys. Of course, the fuel window, I do believe it, historically at a track like this, is about 35 to 40 laps. I mean, I've heard some different numbers, though, from James. He was saying somewhere like high 20s. So we'll have to see how that kind of all plays out. It looks like qualifying is starting to work itself out here. It looks like we got some new drivers out there in the field as well. Justin Levine going to be joining out there. And, you know, we saw in the road course series that we dropped off quite a bit when it comes to numbers. Well, that is not the case here. I think a lot of guys were just had a little bit of an aversion to road course racing. But that is not the case now. These guys are out here ready for action at Michigan, as it looks like we do have the grid set. Starting on the pole is going to be James Harris, the man I just talked about just a moment ago. He's definitely going to be looking to have a strong finish here. I know that he is definitely really motivated. Second place, George Young. Very good qualifying effort there from that camp in the 48. Going to be on the outside pole. Third place, Nathan Meyer. We saw he was incredibly strong, I do believe, in that race last week at Atlanta, Legacy Atlanta, I should say. Fourth place, Craig Ganzak, I do believe, who ended up winning that race. Oh, no, actually, he came in second. That's correct. Fifth place, Justin Levine. Sixth place, Kyle Holden. Seventh, Stephen Gibson. Eighth, Tyler Meeks. Ninth, Stephen Shepard. And rounding out the top 10 is Brad Thacker.
Starting in 11th will be Sheldon Pearson, followed by Brandon Ball in 12th. Jason Taylor in 13th with Jessica Childs in 14th. Caleb Forsythe will be in 15th with John Lucido in 17th, or 16th. Eli Childs 17th, William Mann Jr. in 18th, Michael Williams in 19th, Andrew Hale rounding out your top 20 and riding shotgun in the field, the 21st position of Robert Wynn.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see someone that starts that far back, though, end up at the front, just considering this is a place that is, we're going to see a lot of changes in the lead and a lot of changes for position as well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easy to drive yourself to the back and the front, but if you know what you're doing, you can do it. I mean, it's not like a track to where you're going to be, it's very incredibly difficult to pass. You can do it if you're the right kind of driver, but you might do it as I'd say as a sacrifice or maybe at the detriment of your tires. Tires are important here at Michigan, even though this is a 2-mile racetrack. A lot of times you're going at such high speed through these corners that it does wear them out quite a bit.
It certainly does, and that's where it's going to be key for drivers to make sure that they set themselves up for these good runs, being careful of where they place their trucks here around this circuit, and try and conserve as much tires as possible for that long run here in the race.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing about it, of course, this is a multi-groove racetrack. So you can run at the top, you can run all the way at the bottom. Now, as the run goes on, I think a lot of guys are going to start to progress a little bit higher and higher on the racetrack. And we touched on it briefly as well about this new damage model. We kind of saw it in practice, in actual practice. And saw some guys actually testing it out. I think that's exactly what they were doing. They were beating and banging and smashing into each other, and pieces of the trucks were flying off. That's something we have not seen in these NASCAR trucks in iRacing yet, but we've seen it now. And of course, another change is they made it to where the tape is different as well. Of course, it doesn't really apply to this series, just considering this is fixed, but that is kind of another interesting note here. Is of course the pace car lights are out, getting ready to take the left turn down pit road for the first time here for this season. Definitely excited to see what these guys have in store. Who is going to come out on top? Still it's going to be a long one. These guys are going to definitely have to run this marathon and survive at these high speeds, 180 mile an hour. A lot of times when you hit the wall, it could kill you as the green flag is out. And a good tame start for most everybody here as they go up through the gears. Going to be taking this long front stretch into turn one. Now, turn one could be quite tricky there, Taylor.
It certainly can be. The truck can get a little bit loose, especially off turn two, but as the field works their way through, we're going to see some three-wide action for third place here as they come off of turn two, down the back straightaway. You see the drivers jockeying for position. Levine tries to go up through the middle with the three of Craig Yanzak, one of the many-time series champions, as they work their way through. Harris still holds on to the race lead as they come off of turn four.
Yeah, Ganzak, of course, you mentioned him. He has been one of the guys that has always been very, very strong. He was really strong in the road course season, as it looks like the top two have single filed out. You see James Harris in control, but here comes Craig Ganzak taking the apron, gets underneath into turn one, side by side for the lead, and a lot of double file between pretty much throughout the pack here. Whoa, Craig Ganzak getting tight off the exit of two. Almost got into the 55. Here comes Stephen Gibson to the bottom, three wide underneath the 24 of Nathan Meyer.
Great racing here as we see three-wide action for the race lead as they come off a turn four. Stephen Gibson to the lead as he comes down on the bottom of that number 19. Yanzak tries to cross him over down on the inside as they come down the front straightaway here. Three wide across the line for the race lead.
Isn't that something? Stephen Gibson able to actually lead that lap. You saw Craig Yanzak try to do a crossover maneuver there. Actually got a little bit of the grass. Surprised he didn't lose a whole lot of speed. But three wide right now for second place is Yanzak getting a little tight. Oh, there goes. My goodness. I do believe that was a huge hit. Steven Shepard gets into the three of Craig Yanzak, and all sorts of chaos just all of a sudden breaks out. And man, I think Craig Yanzak has probably been creamed at this point. Of course, I do believe these guys do have the benefit of a faster pair. So hopefully Craig is able to get back down there, but I don't think he's going to get there. His speed, his engine's gone, Taylor.
It is, and that is going to be detrimental for him. But to answer your question, yes, they do have one fast repair ready. He will take the tow, which could put him a lap down. And we get a good look at how the new damage model has come to play. I look at George Young. Pretty much his, I have to say, left right side fender well is completely gone. As we take a look at the replay, it looks like three wide action. A little bit of looseness happened to the 13 of Stephen Shepard, which caused him to make contact with Yanzak, and then the chaos ensues.
Yeah, he got loose out of two, I think, there, and unfortunately just came down onto Yanzak. Yanzak couldn't have did anything to avoid that. Really nothing of his own fault there, but he has gotten a tremendous amount of damage out of that, and some other drivers, like you said, were kind of involved with that. Was it George Young as well? Looking at the front end of George Young, yeah, look at that. He is missing, I do believe, his right fender there. And he's missing, actually, his rear end as well. So damage model in full effect here for that 48. You can clearly see he's going to be coming down pit road to probably use that fast repair. At least he's running.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy here as the field will come down pit road, and safe to say a lot of drivers going to be utilizing that fast repair here in the early stages of today's race.
100%. What a crazy accident that was. Well, while we have a moment, looks like we're going to take another replay here. All right, looks like we were having some technical difficulties there for just a moment, but I do want to give it time to shout out the title sponsor here for the this truck series. Of course, that being the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series title sponsor. I said that again. I don't know what I'm talking about. Looking for a reliable and high performance power equipment to help you tackle any job? Look no further than Champion Power Equipment. Whether you are in need of a portable generator, pressure washer, or any other power tool, Champion has you covered with top of the line products at affordable prices. And they are a proud sponsor of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, and they're excited to bring you even more power and performance on and off the track. Visit them at championpowerequipment.com today to learn more. We definitely appreciate them sponsoring this awesome league that has some of the best competition, definitely with some truck racing on the service, and definitely glad to see them sponsor, especially how big they are in NASCAR as it is. I mean, I know that they actually sponsor, I do believe, Grant Enfinger. He recently won again, if I'm not mistaken.
He picked up his second career win this past weekend over at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway.
And you love to see that, especially the two worlds kind of colliding here, sim racing and real life racing. Of course, a lot of those guys that are in the real life racing, they jump on here as well. And that's what I love about iRacing is you have the chance to actually go toe to toe with some of those drivers.
You really do, and you get to see that even here occasionally in the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series.
Very much so. It looks like the pace car lights have gone out. Stephen Gibson has chosen the top line. What do you think of this call, Taylor?
It's an interesting strategy call, I do have to say, here in this stage of the race, but no better time to do that than here in this early point of the race, allowing drivers to test it out, see how it works out. If it doesn't, stick to the bottom line.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good call. I think that a lot of guys are going to be taking notes on this, just considering he's going to be able to really get such a lot more momentum, I'd say, going into 1 and 2 up there. And you just have a lot more distance. And at a track like Michigan, more distance a lot of times is better because you're able to really, get as much of the engine potential out of the race truck.
You really do, and it's going to be all a mix of how the car or truck is going to place and set up here as this race progresses further, and we'll see how this will play out. Also, a good opportunity to see how those who utilize that faster pair, if that'll work out for them, and those who decided to come down pit road, get fresh tires, how well they'll run in this stage, and those who did not choose to come down pit road, how their trucks will run.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, starting the people that did pit on that last stop, I do believe George Young, the 48, did take a faster pair. He did not lose any spots. He is in 9th place. Green flag is back out for the second time. And what a start there for Stephen Gibson, able to get cleared for the lead. Drops down right in front of James Harris. Side by side for second place. You see Brandon Ball kind of pinching James Harris down there. Here comes Harris, though, to the inside. He's going to try to see if he can't get the lead back. As looks like we're going to go 3 wide for the lead. As Brandon Ball gets a huge run on the outside.
Everyone jockeying for position here, trying to see the opportunity they need in order to get back up to the front of the field. But Harris, Gibson, and Ball we've not seen run up to the front of the field in quite some time. He's now challenging to see if he can lead this train.
Yeah, he definitely is. A little bit of a loose condition coming out of turn 4, I think, for Stephen Gibson. He is being pushed right now by Nathan Meyer. Now, Meyer has a lot of respect from drivers like Craig Ganzak. He kind of mentioned him last week at Atlanta, talking about how he's one to watch. He's one that has gotten a lot of wins in this Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. Oh, the 38 up into the outside wall. That is Michael Williams, a new driver I haven't seen before in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. He's going to lose a tremendous amount of spots, now back to 18th at the moment.
Yeah, could not get off the wall as he came off of turn 2. Gathers it back up, but like you said, he has fallen all the way back to 18th position. Meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, though, it is Brandon Ball leading the charge here at Michigan. 3 wide once again for second as they come across the line. It's Harris, Meyer, and Levine.
Yeah, like I said, I'd watch out for Nathan Meyer. This guy has really he's earned the respect of some of the top drivers in this series and has made his return. Of course, he was one of the old guard in this series, so I expect a lot as he is 3 wide up on the top, going to get a huge run of momentum and possibly sail ahead to the lead as we're verging on even 4 wide here up in the top 5.
Well, you can get that here at Michigan, 4 wide action here, and you're going to see plenty of drivers try that as this race progresses. But for Meyer, he will take over in that San Diego University Chevrolet to take over the race lead. Once again, new race leader here at Michigan.
And what's crazy, I don't think this is going to be the last time we're going to see a new race leader. This is going to happen over and over and over again. But keep an eye on the 48 of George Young. He went down pit road, got him probably a fresh set of tires and a new pretty much truck. Watch out for him. He is going to be moving through the field. He's up to 6 now, as it looks like we got, I'm pretty sure, a new leader as well. Justin Levine up to the top spot, trying to break the draft on the guys behind him.
Our very own Justin Levine here in Gray Division takes the lead here, and he's going to try to lead a lap at Michigan in the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series. Gets a little bit of a push from Nathan Meyer as they work their way through. But how about this? 3 groups of 2 trying to push their way forward.
You love to see this. I mean, especially Justin Levine, a new driver here to this series. Not a new driver to us in our hearts, though, considering he's a big partner with Grid Vision, and love to see him out here representing, and love to see that GV up at the front of the field. That just fills me with pride.
Certainly is, as we watch him lead the charge once again up at the top of the racetrack. We're seeing a couple of drivers go right up against the wall here.
Yeah, Steven Shepard, I do believe, might have just got into the wall almost the same way that Michael Williams did. He is now back to 16th. We see 3 wide in the mid-pack here. I do believe Sheldon Pearson kind of in the middle of a big mess here.
Everyone's in the middle of a big hornet's nest of competition as drivers trying to jockey for position. How about that 29 machine of William Mann Jr. working his way up to the field, and then the Mela Yellow machine as he works his way through. Actually, that's the Sundrop machine coming down the back straightaway with a big push from the 4 of Andrew Hale.
Yeah, that's a classic paint scheme right there. Andrew Hale in the 4, definitely looking really good. William Mann Jr., of course, in the middle there was running that middle groove. Now, I love how many lines that you are capable of running here at this racetrack. We see James Harris, though. He's running pretty much the absolute bottom, and he's making up speed, even though he does not have a whole lot of help. And this is a track that you really do need, I think, power, and you have power in numbers, I'd say. And what a big, great job there from the 73 of John Lucido. He's right in the mix as well. He's been known to be one that a lot of times survives these accidents and stays in it. William Mann Jr. up to the back end of Steven Gibson almost gives him a bump. So we're almost seeing some bump drafting here at Michigan.
Seeing a little bit of 2-car tandeming here, a little bit of bump drafting. This is basically the new Super Speedway in a sense with how these trucks race here around this circuit as they work their way out of turn number 4. Going to go single file for your top 6 at the moment. There you see on the bottom of the racetrack, William Mann Jr. and the 19 machine of Steven Gibson trying to work together.
You also got to keep in mind, tire wear is starting to actually be somewhat of a problem for these guys. So even though the first few laps are like a super speedway where you could probably have it hammered down to the floor, not have to really lift. 3 wide, though, Brandon Ball in the middle. But one thing about it, as the run goes on, you're not going to be able to quite do that anymore. You're going to have to lift just a little bit in the center of the corner in order to keep that truck down and the nose kind of pointed in the right direction. You can see lap times have fallen off significantly for a lot of drivers here, especially Justin Levine, our leader. Of course, his fastest lap was a 39.807. Now he's hitting 40.3. So, I mean, that is a half a second of fall off.
It really is, and that's crazy to believe how much fall off it is after just about 10 to 15 laps here for your competitors. So it's going to be even more detrimental as this run progresses.
And it's so hard to predict where other drivers are going to go at this place. I mean, that's one thing about this place that's so intimidating is a lot of times you're side by side 3 wide with other drivers, and you really don't know where that other driver is going to go. And you really have to pick your moments. You know, you have to really rely on the spotter a lot more, I think, here than you do at other tracks.
You really have to, as we watch on board here with William Mann Jr. in that Sundrop machine, trying to see if he can get a run on the outside lane. Not going to work this time, but really pushing the envelope as he sticks to the middle.
You can see a lot of the faster trucks are starting to run higher on the racetrack through the corners, and I think that's really starting to work for him. You see like guys like Brandon Ball, you know, he's following right behind that 4 machine, getting some big runs. Wonder if he's going to be able to do anything. Of course, Jason Taylor, he's another one that we see run very well, always seems to have bad luck. He's up in 4th place right now.
Putting on a good run right here for Brandon Ball as we ride on board with him in the 6th spot. He tries to get a good bit of momentum on his side as he gets a tow from Andrew Hale. And let's see what he tries to do here into turn 1. He's going to go just half a lane off the wall in order to stay just below Andrew Hale. See if he can get a good run. Hale, though, puts the block on him as they come off of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, he's trying to see if he can sniff a little bit of the toe and see if he can get a run. But now he's going to go for the clean air.
Yeah, we saw Justin Levine and Nathan Meyer. They have been having somewhat of a dogfight up here for this lead. I mean, Myers was on the top and really got a good run to get side-by-side by for Levine, but Levine sent it in to the corner and really just drove it out of the corner and was able to clear him, but it is not over yet. And I think the more these guys battle, the more James Harris is going to get involved as well.
It really is as he's trying to do that here. Here comes Harris. He's going to look. Myers, though, going to go to the top side. Levine stays towards the middle groove at the moment. Everyone's staying up towards the top except for Justin.
Yeah, I like this, though, from Justin. I think that because he has, you just kind of mentioned it about clean air. I think he has that clean air right now. He wants to keep it, and that allows him to be able to drive deeper and closer to the bottom as well, because that truck is sticking a lot better onto the racing surface. Of course, those other guys behind him on the straightaways are going to really get massive runs on him in the straights. But if he's going to be able to have a better corner than them, and a lot of times clean air allows you to also save tire a little bit better. And speaking of saving tire, the tire life is definitely starting to go away for a lot of these drivers. We talked about a half a second of fall off. Well, it's closing in now to almost a second. And that was just a few minutes ago we were talking about that. So it is drastically starting to fall off now, Taylor.
It really is as we watch on here, and it's going to get even more detrimental for some of these drivers. They're approaching almost at the halfway point of their fuel run.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and it almost looks like the fall-off we saw last week at Legacy Atlanta in that little fun race they did to conclude the mini road course season. And, of course, we saw a ton of fall-off. Guys were not even hardly able to make it around the track for a full fuel run. Will that be the case here tonight? It definitely could be. And the thing is I hate to speak of the future. We're going back to Legacy Atlanta next week.
It's crazy here. And then, of course, you got to be mindful of how the Champions Power Equipment will play out for some of these competitors as they move forward and through the season. But like you said, we are heading to Atlanta, a track that's going to be rough and rugged and definitely a cheese grater on those tires.
Yeah, for sure. And good thing is they've already been there. Here comes James Harris, so to the inside of Nathan Meyer, battling for second place. Of course, Harris going to see if he can't utilize that clean air that Justin Levine's not in right now. Oh, wow. Look at that. Levine trying to play both lanes. This is something you see at a super speedway to where you kind of, in the straightaways, you work the top line, try to, you kind of move in between the lanes to kind of pull the other lane with you to keep them side by side.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy here as he tries to blow a little bit of that air down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Coming down, here comes James Harris with a big head of steam here as they come across the line and working out of turn number 4. Harris has the inside advantage. He's going to get a good run off turn 4 and maybe have a shot of getting back into the front of the field. Yeah,
of course, James Harris started on the pole for this race. He's got good lap time right now. I mean, 40.797 versus 40.917 for Levine, but it just seems like he's almost hitting a wall of clean air here that's slowing him down a little bit. He has to fall right back in behind Levine, but it seems like James Harris has done a good job of taking care of his tires.
He certainly has, and he has done so here, and he's going to make sure he gets a good run up through the field and gets the pressure on the outside lane. He's got help from Nathan Meyer for the moment, and that's going to be a big push and momentum for him on the outside.
I almost feel like James Harris is doing the right thing. If he could just stay behind Levine, he's going to save gas. And, of course, also not be pushing it so hard. But it looks like he has something else in mind. I mean, that would just be what I would think to do at a track like Michigan, maybe stay behind the guy. But it looks like Harris, he's going to send it, and he's going to slide job right up in front of Levine here.
How about that textbook pass right there for your race leader now of James Harris. But here comes Levine back on the inside. He's going to go for it once again here to have a shot of taking back up in front of the field.
I think he's going to do it. This is going to be a revolving door of lead changes if they keep this up. But the thing is the more they do this, the more they're wearing their tires. The more they push that truck, the more that those tires are going to start wearing, and it continuing to wear. I mean, these guys are 1.2 seconds of fall off right now. and I don't know if it's going to plateau by the time they get to the end of the fuel window.
It's going to be interesting to see how this will play out for your leaders as they move further into the run here. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that fall off is completely gone for your race leader of Justin Levine. He has been absolutely off the pace. 41.03 last time by for your race leader now, as Harris ran a 49.
Whoa.
Has trouble. A little bit of cars getting loose off turn 4.
Yeah, that was just who you were just talking about, Levine. He just got really loose off of turn 4. You can see the truck almost snapped on him, but somehow he was able to really keep it pointed in the right direction. That helps Nathan Meyer gets cleared for that second spot, and I love what I'm seeing from Meyer. Meyer does not seem like he wants to try to pass. He's like pushing these guys into the corner faster than they want to go, it seems to be.
It seems to be the case here as we watch on and see how this will play out for your race leaders. As here comes Nathan Meyer down to the bottom of the racetrack once again. He's going to get a good run down across the back straightaway for second.
I love what I'm seeing here. And from what I've heard about Nathan Meyer from Craig Ganzak, they said he's pretty much a savant when it comes to saving tires. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. It's definitely going to be the test here tonight.
It really is as we watch on this battle here for the race lead. Your top 3 lined up nose to tail, and it's going to be a barn burner. Levine to the inside of Myers. He wants to try to go back up to leading here at Michigan. Not going to work this time. He might nose ahead for second, but still has to battle side by side for the second place.
We're seeing a lot of variation in lap times out here. I'm looking back at the 8th place spot of Stephen Gibson. He's been looking really strong. One of the fastest. I think, yeah, he was the fastest car in the field right now. So I think a lot of the guys that have been saving a little bit better are going to start to run up through here. But Harris is doing a magnificent job of defending, going in between the lines here to try to keep these guys side by side behind him. Look at this. Man, this is some fantastic racing here at Michigan. I knew this was going to be exciting. I had no doubts about it. I mean, this place always presents some of the best racing, and a big wiggle there for Levine off of turn 2. You could definitely tell these guys are starting to struggle and are on edge, probably begging for a set of tires here soon. Of course, most drivers out here are about 27 laps into this run. Of course, Levine did go down pit road not long ago, or should I say 22 laps ago. He did not take tires, though. He only took fuel only, so he has a little bit more fuel to play with right now.
He certainly does. About 5 laps more than James Harris here for the moment. So he's got a big opportunity to play some big strategies here, as here comes the 88 of Sheldon Pearson coming up on the outside lane.
Yeah, Pearson is looking really strong right now. He turned a really good lap time that last time by. Of course, he spent about 25.4 seconds in the box, took gas, and I would assume also tires. That's a long time to spend in the box. But you can tell him taking those tires earlier, or that was a big sacrifice to make that decision, but you can see it's paying off right now. He's much about a 2/10 faster than the guys in front of him.
It really is being a big opportunity here for him to play off and see what he can accomplish in this race, but he's got a lot of work to do. Let's see if he can pull it off.
And it looks like he's running at the absolute top of the racetrack. I haven't seen a whole lot of drivers really doing this. Seems like it's working out for him, but we see, of course, Levine is back to the lead side by side for second place. James Harris and Nathan Myers dueling it out. And I think this is a prime opportunity for Sheldon Pearson. Seeing these guys side by side in front of him, if they mess up or they slow each other down, he could just try to take advantage and get them a 2-for-1 special here.
He's going to try his best to get a 2-for-1 special here, and he's going to do everything. Look at Levine, though, throwing the blocks there, seeing where the runs are coming in order to try and take over the race lead and maintain it, as here comes Harris and Pearson. Now you see Levine go to the top side to throw the block.
Yeah, you can tell he's definitely driving out of his mirror, and not in a bad way. I mean, a lot of times you say, hey, you shouldn't do that. But at Michigan, this is a track you kind of have to. I mean, you have to look behind you and see what these guys are doing. You see that Levine goes down to the bottom to break the draft for Harris and then goes back up top. I mean, he is playing this like he's at chess. He's playing chess at 180 mile an hour.
He certainly is, and he is doing a stellar job of it for the moment as he is working his way through around the circuit.
Very much so. He keeps going back and forth, up to the top, up to the bottom. Definitely very, very smartly played here. He sees James Harris gets the run. He jumps up in front of them to cut that run off. And this is also bringing some more characters into the game as well. You see Jason Taylor He's in that 5th spot. He's been running good all day long, all night long, and he's coming. I mean, him and Steven Gibson. I think both of those drivers are looking quite quick as well. I would not be surprised to see the accordion effect out here. A lot of times we see at tracks like this, everybody gets spread out, and then all of a sudden they all come right back together once again.
Yeah, it's going to be critical to see how this will play out here amongst these drivers as they work their way through and see what strategies they could come up. We're closing in on a bit of fuel strategy games that could come into play as Harris retakes the lead.
Yeah, Harris taking a very shallow entry into 1 and 2, though. This is going to cause him to get tight, and he shoots up the track. This is going to be an opportunity for Justin Levine to get back underneath him and cross him back over here, as they're side by side for the lead down the backstretch, side by side for 2nd place, side by side for 4th as well.
2 by 2.
5th place, I mean.
It's still 2 by 2 action as Levine retakes the race lead here as they come off of turn number 4. Exciting action we're having here today at Michigan.
Oh, yeah, it has been some awesome action for sure. These guys have been putting on a show. Definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in as well. Of course, if you like what you've been seeing here today, make sure you give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. We definitely appreciate it. Definitely feel free to comment as well in the live stream and shout out who you're rooting for. They definitely, I'm sure, go back and watch these races, and a lot of times they'll see that, and they definitely love to see that support for sure.
They certainly do, and they know that they're about to put on some great racing action here and be able to support you, the fans out there, to put on a good show for you guys. So keep it up. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow for more content coming here on Grid Vision.
Side by side, here comes Steven Gibson on the inside, trying to see if he can't possibly get by Jason Taylor. Now, Gibson, it seems like the last few laps, last 5 or more laps, he's been one of the fastest guys on the track. I mean, look at that. He was about a couple tenths faster than Jason Taylor that last time by. I think Gibson really did a fantastic job of saving tire here. He is now entered the top 5. Look at the side here of Jason Taylor. It looks like he's got a little bit of right front damage, I do believe.
He does have a little bit of damage, and that could affect the handling of his machine here as he's trying to get himself set up for a good long-run pace here. He's got a little bit of room to wiggle with. He's one of those drivers like Levine, as we have one driver, James Harris, coming down pit road.
Wow, this is very interesting indeed. I talked to James Harris before the race began, and his number was, he was like, I think you can make it about 29 laps. And I was like, oh, I thought it would be 35. But I think he might have been right on the money. He made it about 30 laps or so, maybe even considering that caution flag, maybe you can't even make it that far. This is very interesting indeed to see this, how this is all kind of playing out and seeing him green flag pit stop so early. And you know what that means, Taylor? That means, you know, that he's going to need another stop. If those numbers don't make sense, he's going to have to stop again.
Yeah, he made about 35 laps before coming down pit road. So Nathan Meyer, he's out there for 36 laps. We'll see when he decides to come down pit road because he's still out there, staying ahead of the competition. Levine, he has about another 4 or 5 laps before he technically needs to come down pit road if he's to stay on the same strategy as James Harris, who's just now coming out on the track. He's got to try to stay ahead to prevent him from going a lap down.
Also, John Lacido has just came down pit road as well, so that is another driver. And look at this. He just came out on fresh tires. If he can get up to speed, he's going to drive away from these guys, just considering those tires are so much fresher, even though those guys are would have the benefit of his draft. I'm surprised he got up to speed so quick there.
Very surprising indeed, and he is doing a stellar drive here to stay ahead for the moment. How about Craig Ganzak trying to get one of his laps back?
Yeah, definitely. How about that, though? Go down pit road, come out, and you don't even lose a lap. That's something. You don't see that very often at tracks like this. As Nathan Meyer, though, is in the lead. He's going to try to take advantage of James Harris being up there. But I expect he's got to come down very, very soon. And it could be in the next lap or so. I'm surprised he's been able to push it this far.
Well, we just got word that Sheldon Pearson's coming down pit road. We also got the word that Jansen Taylor's coming down. The 19 is coming down pit road. So we're going to start seeing some pit stop strategy happening here.
Yeah, we definitely are. As you said it, there they are, coming right down pit road right there. And who was that there? I do believe it just came down. That is Brad Thacker in the 56, I do believe. So it looks like everyone having pretty tame pit stops. Now, this is important. When you're doing a green flag stop, you got to make sure you do not make a mistake. It could be you could be the fastest guy on the track, be in it to win it until that green flag stop. And as soon as you miss your box, even just a little bit, and have to hit that reverse, that could really cost you. And if you lose the draft at a track like this, you're pretty much dead in the water.
You really are, and you have to be so careful with that and have to try to figure out a different strategy in order to come out on top.
And not even speaking on if you get a speeding penalty. I mean, these guys coming down pit road, a lot of times they're going 150, 160 plus mile an hour when they're coming to slow down. And speed limit is I do believe a 55, 45, somewhere in that area. So these guys definitely got to be really, really careful. As we see some guys even starting to fight amongst the top 10. I see Kyle Holden trying to fight as well as guys are coming off pit road.
They are really doing a lot of fighting here and trying to see what they can do to come out on top with some strong runs here in this race. But for Levine, he is now going to have a lot of work to do to try to see if he can hold on and try to progress his way through. And I think Nathan Meyer might be out of fuel.
I think he is, because you saw Craig Ganzak give him a bump to his rear end. I think he was trying to help him get to pit road.
Yeah, he certainly was. So that's going to be a big time costly manner for him.
Yeah, good job, or good help for Craig Ganzak there. I told you earlier that Craig Ganzak seems to have a lot of respect for Nathan Meyer. That was really a good Samaritan thing to do.
It really was. Great round of applause, and you got to love that series in the series where everyone still tries to race each other hard, but still help out when it can.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if I was out there, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have been like, you're on your own, brother.
Well, the good news is for Yantek, he's 2 laps down, so it kind of seemed like the right call.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely wasn't really losing anything doing that. And it looks like Myers comes out right where Levine is. So I don't think he lost too much there. I think if he just stays in Levine's draft, or actually, he's going to be able to pass him because he's on fresher tires here. Look at that, already a monstrous run. And I think Levine's actually probably slowing down to prepare to come down pit road maybe. Nope, still staying out. So Levine, I like this, though. I think if Levine can stretch it just a little bit further, I don't know. I don't think he'll still be able to really do it to try to make it on one just a one stop. It could be interesting though if he's able to. That would really give him a huge advantage, because I mean if you could take out a fuel stop and the rest of these guys can't, that would be huge.
It is going to be huge, and that's going to be very critical to see what he can do. As here comes, looks like to be the 13 of Stephen Shepard's down on pit road.
Yeah, Robert Wynn as well, started in 21st, is now down on pit road as well. He stayed out. I do believe he's pitting from the 6th place position. Should be losing that spot soon. Here comes Levine. Not able to make it any further. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't start sputtering. Now, that's crazy to think that these guys would risk it that much. Like, we saw Nathan Meyer do to stay out as long as he possibly could, to where he was running out of gas on pit road. That's crazy to me.
It is absolutely crazy, but hey, it's working out, and we're going to see how this will play out for these competitors.
Yeah, I'm watching James Harris. I think him and Nathan Meyer. See, Meyer did not hurt him that much. I think Craig Ganzak really, truly saved his life in a lot of ways, because he's now up to 5th, and I think that when Kyle Holden, George Young, and some of these guys come down pit road, I think he's going to be the net leader here. Yeah, there he goes, right up to the lead. And he's got his buddy, Craig Ganzak. He's drafting with him. I mean, Ganzak's not even a competition for him right now. This is kind of a nice symbiotic relationship they got going on right now that's really helping him quite a bit.
It certainly is, and let's see how this will play out as the run progresses further and further into the race here. And now we're going to see how this will play out. The one driver who's yet to pit, Tyler Meeks, been out there for 34 laps, and Caleb Forsyth, who's been out there for about 26 laps. It looks like, though, he's coming down pit road momentarily.
Yeah, I think Tyler Meeks might have did that as a somewhat of a desperation move, just considering he is not really that close to the leaders right now. He's getting ready to go a lap down, I do believe, and maybe a little bit here. So he's very much off the pace compared to a lot of these other drivers. But definitely interesting to see how that's going to work out. Of course, I would not count out Justin Levine here. He's got, I think, a snip of the draft here of Steven Gibson. Now, we know Gibson's been really good on saving tire on the longer run, but I love how pit road really just really changes the whole picture here. I mean, look at this. I mean, we saw before pit stops, they were all right there still racing each other. After pit stops, they all spread it out. It's you have to be perfect. A good friend of mine, I'll say it and I'll say it and I'll say it again. You race for show, you pit for dough, and I think that's the key here to why we're seeing so much spreading out.
We are really seeing a lot of drivers spreading out here around the circuits. We'll see how this will play out amongst the competitors here, and it's going to put on some really good opportunities for some of these drivers to see how well they will play out amongst these fields.
Yeah, and of course, impromptu caution could definitely end up coming up as we see Justin Levine, I do believe, just got by Steven Gibson, putting him up into that third spot. I do want to give a shout out to another one of our Champion Power Equipment Truck Series sponsors, Blackstone Management Partners. They guarantee an unrivaled one-on-one approach to every client, providing them with solutions and services required to keep their dynamic brands thriving and one step ahead of the ever-changing consumer marketplace. Blackstone compromises expertise in marketing, communication, talent management, and event management. Working with their clients, they not only use traditional but state-of-the-art platforms, including mobile marketing, investigative marketing, cause-driven marketing. So visit them at bsmpartners.com. We definitely appreciate them being one of the sponsors here for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
Riding on board here with the 48 machine of George Young, who's currently sitting in, looks like to be the 10th position. He's trying to catch up to William Mann Jr. in the 29 machine. Gets a good toe off the back bumper of the 29 as he's trying to work his way around the circuit.
Yeah, really good picture there for George Young. I know he was on a little bit of a different strategy as well. Had a big hit earlier in the race, took off his right front fender. He is back in the show, though. Of course, down one fast pair now. I think that I would hate to use a fast pair that early, just considering, I mean, this is Michigan. Things go wrong at the drop of a hat at this racetrack. I mean, guys start to get frustrated. I am looking at Justin Levine, though, about 8/10 back from Harris. Now, look at the lap time difference here from Harris and Nathan Meyer compared to Levine. Levine is hitting 42nd flat, while Harris is hitting a 40.7. That's 7/10 difference right there. I would not be surprised. Levine's going to be catching up to the back of this second place car here momentarily.
Very soon. He's 3/10 and closing. Then he's got 1.8 seconds to make up on the field here. So this is going to be very critical to see who is going to be able to come out on top.
I mean, looking at lap times, I mean, he's also a half a second quicker than Nathan Meyer, but I think by the time he gets up to Meyer, he might not have as many resources left here. And also, got to keep in mind on the pit strategy. I think that all of this right here, big picture, I don't know who's in the best position. I'd say the guy that pitted last possibly would be Justin Levine or William Mann Jr. or George E. Young. Those three pitted the most recently. Kyle Holden as well. So this is interesting to see. But of course, Nathan Meyer has the benefit of Craig Ganzak, and I think that is a huge strategy. That Craig Ganzak is acting as somewhat of a fuel save mode for Nathan Meyer. I think that is going to be huge.
It really is, and this could open up a big opportunity for the driver of Nathan Meyer. Save a little fuel, not have to come down pit road as early as what he would expect because he's trying to get a good toe. But here comes Levine, though. He is coming in fast, closing that gap very quickly with the fresh tires.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's working out well for Levine. He is looking very quick, 6/10 faster last time by than Nathan Meyer. But I think the Meyer might be on a little bit of a saving mission. I think James Harris might be also on that same mission. They probably realize I can't make it. These guys have 25 laps to go, and I mean they were running out of gas at 35 laps. So I mean it's going to be close. It is going to be close. I think Levine might have enough, but then again he hasn't been running that much in the draft. He's having to close these distances as well, and I think that is burning up a lot more fuel than he probably wants it to be. If I was Levine right now, I think I would sit behind Meyer, even though I have the speed to pass him. I don't necessarily want to.
Yeah, it's going to be critical to see how this will play out here in this strategy play. Are we going to see Levine stay tucked up behind, maybe start saving fuel for himself So that way he can make it to the end, or is he going to go ahead and try to just pull away and get out of the way and try to get back up towards the front of the field and try and maintain a gap, then proceed to save fuel?
I think we just found his answer.
Yes, we did.
Here you go, 3 wide. Of course, Greg Ganzak, a lap car. Levine says, oh, no, I can't sit behind you.
He is going to try to find a way to get around and get back up in front of the field.
Yeah, definitely such a fantastic driver. That 33, of course, showing the one machine on there. So take an awesome camera angle off the roof, showing to the back there of that Nathan Meyer. I would not count these guys out. I think things could still go wrong. I don't think we've seen the last of that caution flag. Even though we're spread out, we got lap traffic that are going to start to get involved as well. And these guys don't want to go a lap down.
No, they certainly don't, and they got to find a way to try and avoid making sure that they stay on the lead lap, but also make sure that they're not part of the caution.
I don't know if that's going to be the guy. I think they might be part of the caution. I mean, these guys, they're not going to want to go a lap down. As I do believe Levine is catching up to the back of the 28 of Jessica Childs. You see Childs holding up the top there. Levine has to go to the bottom in order to get this pass completed, in order to put Childs' lap down. Now, of course, Childs would be, at the moment, the lucky dog. Now, I'm looking at James Harris. This is interesting to note. He went ahead and bit the bullet. He already went down pit road.
Very interesting call by James Harris to come down pit road, and now the question is going to be, can he stay on the lead lap? Which he is not. He is now the second car one lap down behind Jessica Childs.
He is on fresher tires than pretty much everybody out here, though. If a caution comes out, he is not going to be a happy camper, I have a feeling. But, you know, I think I like this strategy, though. He's just like, I know I can't make it. I know I can't make it, so why don't I just go ahead and go down there, grab a set of tires, get out here, turn some really fast laps, and he knows he can make it now.
He knows for sure he can certainly make it, but he's got 20 laps to do that here, so this is going to be critical to see what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited as we're coming up now to 20 laps to go. Of course, Justin Levine out front. He's definitely led, I think, the majority of the laps thus far here tonight. It's definitely been a great show. I love this, and this what a race to come out for the new season as well. I mean, I don't think they could have picked a better race, Michigan.
I certainly agree. This is one of the best choices to start a season off in any series. So they're going to kick it off with some great racing action. And you think about it, we still are battling for the race lead as we pick up another battle here around the circuit. Ooh, big wobble by the 16 of Robert Wynn as he's trying to hold off. That's the 56 of Thacker.
Yeah, definitely a lot of battles still happening on the track here. I do want to give another shout out to one of our sponsors here with the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, Green Mountain Grill. We all love barbecue. I'll tell you what, that's making me hungry right now, just the thought of barbecue. Green Mountain pellet grills are top-of-the-line quality grills for all of your grilling needs. Of course, they also offer the highest quality dry rubs, sauces, pellets, but not at the highest price. Customers enjoy the best possible grilling experience without breaking the bank. Visit either one of their 1,000 locations across the U.S. or visit them at greenmountaingrills.com for online purchases, recipes, and much more. I'm telling you what, I would love some barbecue tonight.
I just got done eating before going on the air, and I got to say, nothing wrong with some good old barbecue.
100%. I mean, one thing about barbecue as well is that no matter where you go, everybody thinks their barbecue is the best.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can have a fight about Carolina versus Texas barbecue. The good news is, I will say, I've been in both, lived in both states now, so I can say both of them are really good. It depends on what type of meat, though, you're barbecuing.
I find this incredibly interesting, though. Look, we saw Levine was so much faster than Meyer before. I think that was on purpose. I think Meyer was saving. Look at him now. He's running about 2/10 faster than Levine.
I think so, because Levine had to use all his equipment up to go and hunt down Myers, and here comes James Harris to get his lap back.
Yeah, he is running much faster than these guys. And I think some alarms are going off for Levine right now. I think that he's like, do I have enough fuel to make it to the end? If James Harris came down, I mean, this is definitely curious. But look at Meyer go. He has got a lot of speed still left in that truck. There we go. James Harris, I do believe, has gotten his lap back. And that'll put, I do believe, Michael Williams as our lucky dog at the moment.
It certainly seems to be the case here, so we'll see how this will play out for your drivers as they work their way around. But James Harris back on the lead lap. Levine still holding on to the race lead.
And looking a little bit further back, you mentioned about this battle, Brad Thacker and Robert Wynn. They're side by side right now for 11 plays. They've been side by side for quite a while, it seems.
It certainly seems to be the case, and they're going to do a lot of racing here as we watch Thacker look to the inside of Wynn.
These guys, I think, are starting to get a little frustrated with each other.
I think so, too.
And a lot of times, frustration equals yellow flag.
Yeah, that is so true, even more so. So we'll see how this will play out as they go further and further into this run.
It looks like I do believe we're coming up now on 15 laps to go. Of course, some drivers I do not believe can make it to the end. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. Do we see some more green flag stops? I think most of these guys are probably going to just go as far as they possibly can. I think that's probably what they're going to decide. They're like, we'll just let it play out. If a caution comes out, it comes out.
It certainly
Oh,
is
some
going to be
smoke on the track.
Ooh.
I'm thinking somebody just had an issue. I'm not sure who. I think it might have been Steven Shepard.
Well, we only have one driver out of the race, and that was Brandon Ball.
I'm going to take a look back here and hunt and see if I can't see if anything just happened to Shepard. I saw some smoke. Yeah, he just had a big loose moment. Smoke coming out. Yeah, oh yeah. He just had a big loose moment. Luckily, he did not hit anything. That is why they came up on him so fast, because he actually got loose out of turn 4 and went all the way down to the apron, but saved it. So that's what I kind of saw there. I was wondering, like, what is going on?
Well, they're now getting themselves reorganized, reset, and continuing on their way here as they go down the back straightaway. And there you see Craig Yanzak trying to push his buddy Nathan Meyer up to Justin Levine to get back up in front of the field.
Yeah, I almost feel like Levine is maybe was trying to save a little bit too, because now he's running faster than Meyer. So this is a big puzzle here. A lot of layers to this. 13 laps to go. Coming up, I do believe now to 12 laps to go. So this thing is definitely counting down quite quickly. It won't be too long before we'll be crowning our first winner. And tell us, how big is it to win the first race of a season? I think it's huge. I think it leads to a lot of momentum into the next race. Gives you confidence, wouldn't you say?
It certainly does, and it also is, especially when you are now a rookie. Even though Levine is not a rookie in iRacing, he's a rookie to the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series, and to come in, win the race in his debut, that just shows a lot of talent that we could possibly see.
Yeah, we're seeing on our screens right here, we just saw side by side quite a big battle going on right here. This could be the scene of the caution if it happens, because these guys are all fighting for position. I'm looking at Jason Taylor, William Mann Jr., George Young, Andrew Hale, Sheldon Pearson, all kinds of drivers. I think, yeah, even Steven Gibson. This is 3rd through 8th right now, all right here on top of each other.
Just shows of how hard they're going to fight here in these final closing laps. And here we go, battle for 3rd. William Mann Jr. to the inside. He's got fresher tires over Jansen Taylor. He's going to fight him hard.
And I'm so happy these guys fight so hard so they can try to talk to me. That's so nice. That's all they want. That's why they're doing it, right, Taylor? They just want to talk to me.
They certainly do, apparently.
Don't listen to me, Taylor. Look at this. So, man, wow, slide job for man. He was putting his faith that he was going to be clear by the time they exited 4 there. But here comes George Young. He's going to send it in as well. We're going to go 3 wide right here, possibly.
Here we go. We're going to go 3 wide as they work their way off turn number 2. Thanks better of it. But for William Mann Jr., he's on a stellar drive here.
He is. I think this is his best run I've ever seen from this 29. I mean, he is looking really, really good. I think we seem to have found his track, his favorite track.
Well, all I can say is he better bring some Suntrop up here to the interview booth if he gets that 3rd place.
That's right, he better. I don't think it's over yet, though. I mean, you see George Young, he's hungry. He's right there behind him. He was a couple hundredths faster last time by. And don't forget about Sheldon Pearson. I mean, Pearson was on a little bit of a dip different strategy as well. I would not be surprised to see him come up here and play a little bit.
It's going to be fun to see how this will play up and continue on with this battle for the race lead and see who comes out on top with under 10 laps to go. There you see the battle for the race lead of how far the gap is, and there's lap traffic up ahead.
Yeah, interesting to note. You talk about that. I mean, Justin Levine is about 6/10 or 7/10 around that figure, give or take, back or up in front of Nathan Meyer. Now, third place, the battle for third place is 17 seconds back. Isn't that something? That is a large gap.
That is almost half the track.
Yeah, just shows you how Levine and Myers they're in a, or Meyer, I should say, they're in a class of their own.
They certainly are, and it just shows of how crazy, how competitive, and how difficult it is to get these good finishes in this series.
Yeah, a lot of talent represented in those two drivers up at the top two. And, and one thing about it, I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, they probably have a really good setup. This is a fixed setup race. These guys they're just driving the mess out of these cars. They just know what they got to do. I'm sure in between Levine and Meyer, they have probably thousands of laps that they've turned even at this track itself. I mean, a lot of these guys, they spend a lot of time, Taylor. I'm telling you, I don't have the time to spend as much time as they do, and they've definitely honed their craft.
They certainly have, and it just shows of where these drivers spend a lot of time. And like you said, I wish I could have the time to spend, but unfortunately, some of us have some real-world responsibilities, real-world traveling and broadcasting to go and do. So, and of course, here with the brand new build week, you got a lot of brand new toys to try out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a lot of guys that on this service have jobs and stuff like that and are still able to really put in the effort. Oh, Nathan Meyer really loose. And he is going to fall back in behind Craig Ganzak. Really loose condition there for Meyer. He almost completely lost it, and he is going to lose the draft of Craig Ganzak. And I think this is all but pretty much going to submit Levine as the possible winner of this race unless a caution comes out here. That is going to be a huge death nail in Nathan Meyer. But I think he's still going to be able to come home in second. I don't know. He might still have a little bit of the draft here. He's starting to catch up a little bit here. Can he? If he could just get a sniff of that draft, I think he's not done yet. We'll have to wait and see how this works out.
We certainly will have to see how this works out, but he is trying everything, and here comes Craig Ganzak trying to get one of his laps back in the closing minutes of this race. 5 laps to go.
Yep, there goes Ganzak, going to get his lap back, and that puts him 1 lap down. I think I know what Ganzak's doing here. I think Ganzak's trying to, I hate to say this, I think Ganzak's trying to slow Levine down. He wants to slow him down so Mike can get back to him possibly.
This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
I don't know. I mean, it's working. You see Meyer starting to catch up now.
It's at just under 1.1 seconds. Now it's 1.1 seconds between your top two for the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Craig would do something that dastardly. I don't think that's right if he did do that. But here we go. I do believe coming up to 3 laps to go. The gap is, like you mentioned, about 1.1 seconds. So yeah, Myers I think is losing hope right now. I mean, this is kind of good for Levine. He's saving gas right now, sitting behind Ganzak right now. Of course, the third place driver is about 18 seconds back from the top 2 right now. Of course, Justin Levine at the moment is 19 seconds over William Mann Jr. So this is just crazy. Of course, we only have 13 drivers on the lead lap. We started out with 21 competitors here tonight, and we've only had, listen to this, 1 caution.
And that's absolutely incredible. And hopefully we don't jinx that as we watch the battle a little further back for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and 8th. Great battling all around the circuit. And these guys, 20.6 seconds back.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope Levine doesn't get mad at me about this, but and I'm sure he doesn't want a caution. But heck, I wouldn't mind seeing one, to be honest with you, just to see what happens here, to get everybody back into it. I probably just made a huge broadcasting sin right there. They're going to be people upset with me.
You're about to probably Rick Allen this whole ordeal.
I don't think it's going to come, though, because it is, someone into the wall in front of the leader. Levine able to dodge. Who was that? I think that was Caleb Forsyth.
That was Caleb Forsyth in the 76.
But I think Levine was able to safely navigate. Here he comes out of turn number 4. If he just crosses the start-finish line right here, the white flag will come out. And he will, yep, there it is. The white flag is waving. One more lap to go, ladies and gentlemen, for Justin Levine. He has over a second. He pretty much has time to just wave to the fans here. And what a show from newcomer Justin Levine. A rookie to this series, but no, not a rookie to iRacing, that is for sure. But, man, he just sent a message, I think. I think a lot of guys in this Champion Power Equipment Truck Series are like, oh, man, where did he come from?
Here he comes out of the final corner. Checkered flag for Justin Levine, win number 1 of the season.
Yep, win number 1. That's going to be a lot of momentum for him going into the rest of this season. He's definitely going to be tested next week, but when you get a win, a lot of times you get more of those. I mean, it's definitely a confidence builder. I think Nathan Meyer's going to come up here, give him a little bit of a congratulations. A lot of respect in between those two drivers. Can't wait to see Levine come to the front stretch and do his celebratory donut. And how about that, though? I mean, it's actually kind of a win for us, Taylor and Austin. You know, Grid Vision's on the front of that truck.
It certainly is, and it's going to be exciting to see how this plays out. And, you know, Grid Vision, of course, is proud to be a partner, of course. And, of course, you got to thank a lot of great people a part of this organization as he will burn it down here in the front straightaway.
Justin, people got to go out there and fix that grass, man. You can't do that. As he definitely burns it down. Definitely congratulations to Justin Levine, able to get it done here. And there he is. You can tell he is definitely happy about this one. And with that, I think that'll be the conclusion of our winning moment. We'll go ahead and run down through the final results here of tonight's race here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series debut race, or not really, or debut for the season, I should say. Justin Levine, your winner here today in his first race. Nathan Meyer in second place. William Mann Jr. comes home in third. Fourth place, Kyle Holden. Fifth place, George Young. Really great recovery from that 48 machine. Sixth place, the 88 of Sheldon Pearson. Seventh, Andrew Hale. Eighth, Jason Taylor. Ninth, Stephen Shepard. And rounding out the top 10 is Robert Wynn, who started in 21st. Great job to him.
James Harris will come home in 11th on the lead lap, followed by Stephen Gibson 12th. 13th, John Thacker, the last car on the lead lap. Then it's going to be Michael Williams, first car, one lap down. John Lacido in 15th. 16th, Tyler Meeks. 17th is Craig Yanzak. Caleb Forsyth in 18th. Jessica Childs 19th. Brandon Ball, it will be a DNF. And Eli Childs did not start. Of course, he is our race control, so it's kind of important for him to not be out there racing while trying to do race control.
Alrighty, that was the rundown of the final results here. And first off, we're going to be joined in the booth by our third place finisher, William Mann Jr. I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to talk to you. Was this your best finish in this series?
Well, previously we had we come through different seasons with different broadcasts and such. So I've had a couple seconds and thirds, but it's good to start off this season with as strong as the league has gotten. To start with a third is really relieving.
Now, how hard was that to be able to do? Because it seemed like for a lot of that you were kind of in the middle of the hornet's nest, and we're having to really battle hard to keep that third place. I mean, there was a lot of guys that were trying to take it away from you right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. We had some messy luck early. We kind of got split up where the pack was like two different sets. So it was kind of trying to try to back down the entry and save as much fuel. Seeing that everything was going green, luckily, we were to stretch it out and make a late pit to kind of compensate. And a lot of people, they kind of under pit, maybe thinking we were getting cautions and such. And it worked out for us because we were hearing people on the radio, man, I'm a little bit short, or I'm having to back it down. And me and George were kind of working together there, coming through those people going, I was like, Georgie, these guys are running out. Let's just stick to each other and we'll try to pick them off one at a time. And it really worked out. So, big shout out to George, helped me out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Great job to getting that third place finish. I mean, I know, like you said, you've gotten them before, but this is the first time we've seen you get it. So definitely great job. And first time we actually got to talk to you as well. Of course, next week, I do believe we're going to a tough track. And I think did you race at that fun race they held last week? I can't recall.
I think, I don't remember. I'm not sure if I did. I've been kind of bouncing around with different stuff going on.
I think you remember. It was at Legacy Atlanta, and it was quite a time, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. I opted out of that one. I had some stuff going on outside of this, so I kind of missed it. I hated it. I did, though. I love it. Well,
you're definitely going to wish you had showed up for that, just considering the tire wear was really, 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 really bad. And I expect it's going to be like that. How much experience do you have with that old Atlanta?
Man, I've barely got any experience in New Atlanta, so everything I'm used to is the older stuff. I've always enjoyed Atlanta, old and new. So, man, I mean, we just got the update with these trucks as well, so it's definitely going to be a new experience for everybody, I think. So, I think it won't be as uneven for me missing out, and hopefully I can put a little bit of sim time in to prepare for next week.
All right, well, definitely do that, man. Congratulations on the third place. Who can we give a shout out to?
As always, man, Champion Power Equipment. They always help to put this league together. The admins, James Harris and Eli the race control, and the rest of the guys that have started this league and built it where it is. They make it fun week in, week out. And personally, for me, my sponsor is my own family business, Man's Maintenance. It's the one that puts the money in my pocket, puts the money on the account, so I can have fun.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, William. It was definitely a pleasure to have you up here in the booth. Hopefully we get to see you more this season.
Oh, sounds good, man. You'll hear a lot from me.
All righty. Love to hear that. All righty. That was William Mann Jr. Of course, next up, we're going to be having Taylor Burris standing by with Nathan Meyer, our second place finisher.
Here with Nathan Meyer. Nathan, a great run for you tonight. And gotta say, some good strategy call, I say, that could have possibly played out for you to get home the win. Talk to us about how the race was for you and the conditions.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Car was really fun. Or truck, I should say. At the end there, would have had the win, I think, if I hadn't had pushed a little too hard and got a little sideways. But no, it was fun.
Talk to us, though, about this series a little bit for you. If I remember correctly, you raced last week also with us at Atlanta, and if I remember, is this going to be your first full-time season?
No, I started doing this league in like 2020. I just took like a year and a half off, so I'm just back with the boys having fun again.
All right, well, we head off to Atlanta. Any thoughts about heading back to the track where you put on another stellar drive?
Yeah, Atlanta's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm looking forward again. This Justin guy seems pretty good, so I'm sure me, him, Craig, and James will be up at the front battling a lot.
Well, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to say thank you to?
Yeah, thanks to Champion Power Equipment for hosting this, and thanks to you guys for doing this. I'd like to watch it after we race, so just thanks, guys.
Well, that is Nathan Myers coming home in second place. And last but not least is our race winner, Justin Levine. He is with Brian Britt.
Justin, definitely fantastic run, man. Your first race here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. You sent a message to all these drivers and really dominated. I mean, you led the majority of the laps. I mean, you seemed like the right pit strategy. What all went into this? Were you feeling confident coming into this race?
Honestly, I had no idea what to expect, especially with the new build coming out today. Going into practice, I only had like 4 laps, and I felt that it was really loose and somehow avoided that first wreck. Dove down pit road just to kind of see which way the tires were leaning, and when I saw that the right rear was burning up a little more, I started just driving in as hard as I can to burn the right front to try to just even that wear, and it worked. It paid off, and especially topping off with fuel. Pitting, I think, like 2 or 3 laps later, and that really was the difference maker. I was able to run down Nathan there and hold him off.
Yeah, you really were, and of course, he even had the help of seems like Craig Yanzak, and but you just were so much faster. I mean, maybe he was saving gas because it seemed like once you got in front of him, he started turning it back up again. But it was a really good battle. It seemed like it was going to be a lot closer towards the end, but he had a little bit of looks like a little bit of a loose spell there for sure. Did you ever have any loose conditions out there on the track?
Oh, definitely. Once I got the draft from, I think it was James, I started pulling away, and as soon as that bubble bursted, it started getting really loose off, and I was like, you know what? He's got help. Let me back it down and at least have a shot that the tires aren't going to be overheated so that we could at least duke it out. And unfortunately, he got loose, and I never had a chance to battle him.
Definitely, and of course, you sent that message. It was kind of a big, proud moment for us up here in the booth, too, considering you got the big Grid Vision logo right on the front of that car. How does that feel for you to be out there representing the? I mean, a lot of times you don't see the broadcast, company be the one that win the race.
I'm hella proud. This broadcasting group, you guys are so amazing and probably the best on the sim, and everyone needs to know.
Well, definitely appreciate that for sure, Justin. Of course, Atlanta is going to be coming up. Legacy Atlanta, of course. These guys went there last week for a little bit of a fun race. Now, this one next week is going to be a serious race. There was a whole lot of tire wear. Guys were barely able to make it 30 to 40 laps without spinning out. How do you feel about Legacy Atlanta? Have you had any time with the truck there? And how do you think the new tire model is going to change that?
That's awesome to hear that tires aren't lasting, because that's going to change everything. But I love Legacy Atlanta, especially how bumpy it is, and just to add in the factor that these tires are wearing, now it changes everything. So you go from this track being almost wide open every single lap to now this one, you're going to baby it for most of the fuel run there and hope that you did a good job that tires hang on.
Yeah, that's definitely exactly what the key was last week. So we'll see if that still stands. Of course, with the massive updates they did to this truck here today, actually. Of course, great job on the win, man. We are so proud to see you up there in victory lane, especially in your first race in this series. Who can we give a shout out to after this big dub?
Shout out for James let me in last minute. I appreciate that so much, and especially Darby for helping. Shout out to you guys. You guys do, like I said, such an amazing job, and everyone needs to know. And shout out to Team Watson and Hyper Esports.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Justin. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you next week, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All righty. That was Justin Levine, our winner here. Of course, definitely congratulations to all of the top three after that great performance. Any final thoughts, Taylor?
I mean, what a great way to kick off the season here for the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series at Michigan. It's going to be exciting to see how the rest of the season will play out, and could we see another person step up to the plate to go toe-to-toe with the multi-champion of Craig Yanzak?
I think we possibly could. And one thing that I'm really want to see back, or a person I want to see back, is Robbie Keneally. I think he, of course, got his championship last season, and I want to see him come back and really duke it out as well. But unfortunately, he was not here tonight, so that is another piece of it.
I will say, you know what would be an amazing championship fight? Levine, Keneally, Craig Yanzak, and how about this one? Randall Falks.
Wow, yeah, that would be a dream right there. I'm telling you. Maybe, hey, they say when you say something, you speak it into existence. So hopefully that's what. Hey, if y'all are listening out there, get in here.
Yeah, those four. I mean, you're talking about four of the biggest names that competed in this championship. That would be an exciting championship fight between those four, and of course James Harris and the rest of the field.
100%. Now, I do believe I think tomorrow, we're going to be actually having the Thunderclamp iRacing Series back in action, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Bristol in the trucks. So a lot of more truck action on the docket for tomorrow. Of course, that Bristol, the last great Coliseum, that is going to be an exciting one. Of course, tune in for that about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, if you want to keep up with the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, tune in next week. Of course, we'll be live and in action at Legacy Atlanta. So it's going to be 100 laps there, kind of a good little jaunt there for these drivers. Going to be a lot of challenge. Really is going to push these guys to the limits, I do believe. Can't wait to see what these guys have in store for us, how they prepare for it, how it all works out. We had a lot of racing left to go in this season, so definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in. And, of course, don't go anywhere. We want you to watch every race we have here. It's always going to be some really great excitement here on Grid Vision. But with that, it is time to draw the broadcast to the conclusion. Do want to give a shout-out to Justin Levine, of course, for his win and also his partnership that he has with us at Grid Vision as one of the co-owners. Of course, big shout-out to you as well, Taylor Burris, being a co-owner and my co-commentator here tonight. Of course, big shout-outs as well to our producer, Austin Derbyshire, and co-owner as well, always bringing us all the great camera angles. He definitely did a heck of a job here tonight. Of course, my name is Brian Britt. Thank you for listening to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series on Grid Vision. We'll see you next time.